Hi everyone, this is Nick Lucy from Nest Advisory. I'm here with Amy Patros from Integrity Life to talk a bit about insurance today. Amy comes with 13 years experience in the industry, so a really valuable resource to have here today. Thanks for joining us, Amy.
Thanks, pleasure.
First question that we have for you is, why should people be thinking about protecting their income, and why might not the disability support pension be enough for most people?
I think the question really needs to be asked is, how important is your income to you? Things like the disability support pension, we hear all the time that clients think that could be an alternative for the unexpected, but in reality, for a single, the maximum you could get out of that is $24,000 a year. That's as of obviously this year. If you're in a couple, you're looking more around the 18 grand. That's well below half of what the industry average income is.
Right. And if you are in a couple and one of the partners is still working, then that could be reduced even further.
That's correct. Correct.
So next question for you is, can you tell us a bit about some of the limitations that you might have with your insurance inside super only?
Yeah, so when you've got your insurance inside a super, so one, you've got to think about the diminishing super balance. That's obviously the one thing, but also the rules that are set for those products is determined by SIS legislation. So there's really not a lot of flexibility, particularly if you're in a specific niche occupation where, when you're looking at qualified or trained, that you may be able to be placed elsewhere. So that's kind of the definition inside a super. But for outside, you've got that flexibility of being really looked on a personal level around what your own occupation is. Income protection is another really good example, particularly if you've been off work for whatever reason. We use maternity leave as a example. You really want to be able to make sure you're protecting that income prior to you going on mat leave, because there's so many scenarios where there's unpaid leave.
And last question, a lot of people might get frustrated with the process of applying for insurance because of all the sort of medical questions and the financial questions. What are some handy hints that you might have for people before they sort of get started?
I think that it's really around setting that expectation. So if you look at it in the concept of a home loan, you've got to provide a whole series of financials before the bank will agree to lend you a certain amount. So everyone's got their different levels, which is why they obviously go to see a mortgage broker as well. Same concept with insurance, where it's really around just understanding any pre-existing conditions that may exist. For us at Integrity, when we built our processes and our onboarding, we really looked about creating questions that were not as, invasive, and using a lot of language that really resonates more with the client. That really helps it become a more comfortable, conversation.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. I hope you found that to be useful. So if you're thinking about insurance, a good time to think about it is if you're buying a house, if you're having children, through a separation or marriage. Come prepared, so think about what kind of medical questions might be asked, and most importantly, speak to us at Nest Advisory, and we'd be happy to help. Thanks so much, Amy.
Thanks, Nick.